Hey you guys, soy Maria Arriola y esto es Amor con Dios. How are you guys doing? Just taking a little break, but I know when you work with Jesus is a non-stop game, something that sometimes I walk through this life and we do go preach the gospel and people need to learn about Jesus and why he guides us to do things. And I think living in this world, we have to really focus on what is it that he's trying to teach us. What is it that he's you know that we're not listening or understanding that he's trying to tell us. And I think that's all part of building a relationship. And I know that yesterday I got to meet a young boy, a super young boy, and very very into the religious world, which is very rare to see. But it was beautiful to share how God came into my life and how we have a relationship as opposed to a relationship, built with human structure. So it was very different and, it's normal, but it was beautiful to you know, um, just see how youth and ministry are involved, which that's my next certification, my youth ministry, to minister youth in a proper way. But reality is with love. You always reach people with love. That's how God taught me. This world, this man, if you don't have this, you're not close to God. If the world says, I'm not popular in this, you're not close to who are you. Sometimes I avoid social media and certain things. I know I have to be part of social media to get funding, but I work hard in different ways. And I see a world that's suffering, but I understand that when I go through struggles, I have to focus on me. You know, if I'm feeling lost, I get on my knees and pray. And if I still don't understand, I pray harder and I pray harder and I pray harder and I pray harder. And then I realize, okay, God answered me. He will answer you. It takes time. Sometimes he answers you right away. Sometimes he don't. You know, um, I see a world, one thing that I do notice, there's a lot of cannabis smoking on the other side, marijuana and all those things. I'm an addict, so recovering addict, ex-addict, whatever. Addicts are alive. I'm not going to expose myself to situations, but when I do these events, there's people that are, drinking, doing drugs. Marijuana to a lot of people are not drugs, but it is. It leads to another thing. It leads to another thing. We're not even emotionally capable of handling alcohol, let alone drugs, and we don't want to accept sometimes the side effects it has, or just acknowledge our own proper emotions without any substances. So that's why we struggle a lot. So I'm learning a lot in this path because behavioral health is what I do. So if God is really calling you, start learning to talk to him. And one thing that I've learned that you know um he already did the biggest sacrifice, and that's die for us in that cross. So I know that religious people do fasting, and do religious people do sacrifices. They don't have to do that. That's just religious way of thinking. And people say we got to respect people if they don't know God, but reality, if you have a relationship, you understand. Just know that if you're suffering, if you're going through a lot, talk to God. Tell him what's your purpose of learning, or what's the purpose of, you know, what he's trying to teach us or improve, or what he wants us to see, so we could definitely be better people in his name, and we could really serve his purpose. So God bless you guys. What's up, man? I just say that because we live in a world where there's a lot of fake people. There's a lot of real people, a lot of people that are misguided or just don't know about God. And God loves me, so he loves you too. So just open your heart, start that relationship, and he'll guide you in the right way. So soy Maria Arriola. This is Amor con Dios.